HoodTrap is taking over right now, with artists such as Nems, Luciano, and Kyle Rich still pushing the sound. But what is HoodTrap, and how do you make it? Well, in this video, I'll explain everything and show you exactly what sounds to use and how to master the bounce. Most of the sounds I'll be using today are from my latest Pyroverse bundle, which I use all the time for HoodTrap. And right now, I'm running the biggest sale of the year for Black Friday, so you can get all my kits, bundles, and courses for a huge discount. So head to jcactus.com or click the link in the description before the sale ends. And let's get straight into it. First things first, let's set the BPM, and you want it around 140. I'm going to make it a little bit faster today and go at 145. Really, the whole HoodTrap sound is in the drum bounce and the sounds that you use. You can make melodic HoodTrap, dark HoodTrap, pretty much any melody as long as you get the drums right. For this one, I'm going to make something dark because it's what I like making the most. And if you want to make something like Luciano would use, a lot of his melodies are dark. I might switch it up today and use hybrid because I use the same sounds a lot, man. I like this one. I'm going to select a minor scale. Could use a harmonic one, but we'll see. I'm going to go B minor for now. I'll skip a note in the scale, skip another one. Maybe we could bring this one down and pitch it up. And then of course for tension, you want the notes that are close together. Bring this one down. And that up maybe. Actually, that's kind of cold. Yeah, we could even start with something like that, you know, just really simple. Let's add a bass note. Yeah, then maybe a lower one here. Let's see if we can find another pad to layer it with. When I'm making dark melodies, the actual chords and melody tend to be pretty simple, but you can get interesting sounds by layering different things together. See, sometimes you just have to go through a lot of shit to find the gold. This sounds hard. See how that just works with this second one? Because this sounds a little bit lower, and this one sounds a bit higher. So they're not clashing too much. I want to copy that one more time, but with this one, we'll pitch it up an octave. Yeah, let's not overthink it. Let's just run with that. Let's highlight those three, press Ctrl and L. It's just going to send them to mixers. I'm just going to do some basic EQ on each one, mainly just cutting out the lows. I think some of the highs from this one. And then same with this. Just rolling off some of the low end. And that's mainly because we're going to be using an 808 later. Okay, what we're going to try now is reversing it, but I'm going to hit Alt and Y on each pattern. And it's just going to flip the notes horizontally. So then when I reverse it, it will actually be the right way around. And I'll do that for all three. So we'll render the master. Now when I drag that in and hit reverse, it should be the same progression we started with. Maybe we could pitch that. Straight away, man. Even this is sounding cold. Okay, next up I'm hearing some vocals, but I don't just want to add a vocal phrase playing all the way through. I think I want to chop it up and make it a little bit more repetitive, so I'm going to see what I can find. I want to take a couple of those and then try and chop it up. Try it anyway. I'm going to render that so that it's synced to the project BPM. And let's try something. I'm going to open Serato sample and just bring that vocal into it. Make sure you change the grid. Then we're going to set the slicer. Now let's just see if we can find a chop that works. Oh, that could be hard. Just going to bring up the attack a bit and the release. They just need processing a bit though. So nothing crazy. It's just going to be some EQ and probably some reverb and delay. You know what? Let's add some halftime on those pads, but I'm going to bring the mix down. I think it's just missing some low mids. I don't need all the low end though. Okay, this is definitely missing some low end, so I'm just gonna add a piano in there, but maybe just the bass notes. It's just gonna give it that low end. Already sounded crazy. And the melody's almost there, man. We don't really need too much more for these type of beats. I always like to add a couple things to make it a bit more interesting. So maybe some arps, some textures, some accents, things like that. Or maybe some drones. Let's try one of them, but just really filtered. Maybe even some halftime on it. Try some ambiances as well. This one's kind of subtle. I could just sit in the background like some texture. Might even throw some portal on this one. We'll go to my Phoenix bank, which is part of my Pyroverse bundle. Yeah, this one just seems to work every time. Let's see if we could throw on some accents. I think that's just going to be the finishing touch. If we go to my one-shot folder in Pyroverse, you can see there's tons of accents here you can use. These are all tempo sync, so we could just find one that we like, drag it straight in. That was kind of hard. Let's see what it sounds like up an octave too. Yeah, that might be the one. It just adds that texture. Alright, I think we've got enough now. Maybe if we keep this one down and have it reversed, we can go into the high octave one. Okay, so I've just split everything, copy it out a couple times. First part will have no drone. This part will have everything. Let's actually take one part without the piano bass. Just so we've got... just so we could properly arrange it. So I'm going to render that whole thing. I'm just going to see if there's any other key that might work better. This could work too. I think we can run with this. So let's add a pattern for drums. And the first thing I usually start with is a snare. I'm liking the sound of this one. So for the pattern, you just want to start on the first black one, the third red one, and then the first red one. As long as you got these three, they're like the main ones. From here, you've got a few options. You could copy it and get rid of the first one, so it's like this. I prefer this type of pattern though. And then you can add some filler notes with a lower velocity for the bounce. And then maybe add 3 here, then just one more at the end. And then for the main snare, it's up to you if you want to use a snare, clap, or a snap. Depends what vibe you're going for. But sometimes I'll use a mix. I might use a snap like this, maybe even a clap. Or you know what, we could even try a rim this time. And for the pattern, there's no real set rules. You could do a standard trap pattern like this. Or you could use more of a drill pattern like this. I usually go for this one. Or we could even layer some. I feel like you get the most unique sounds by layering different stuff. So let's copy that rim pattern and we'll try and find a snare that it sounds right with. Even that. So I just muted that rim, but kept it in this snare, and then I added another one with the velocity down. And then with this snap, I'm just going to add it right at the end there. And one thing I've been hearing recently is people cutting the melody. So for example, maybe on this last snare, we could mute this. Yeah, so let's move on. A lot of people just use the normal spins for these beats. I've designed my own version of the spins. I just think it hits way harder. So I'm going to use this one. We'll increase the out and then we'll boost it a bit. Also set it to cut itself. And then for the 808 pattern, obviously we want to match the root note. And you'll usually match the pattern of the snares. For example, we could match these 3 or even just these 2. We'll see which one sounds better. So that's going to be the main pattern. With this one, I'm going to pitch it up. Let's bring in the CTM. And I'm just going to use this for some filler notes. With this one, we're going to adjust the envelope, bring everything down except for the hold. And I don't know if you knew this, but you can actually save that as a preset. So every time you bring in a new sound, you could just select that. I think just these 2. I want to try and add a slide note too. Could even get creative, man, and just try out some different sounds for the filler notes. And some people don't even add a second 808, but I really like to. Maybe where it cuts. At one point, I think I'm going to swap out that main 808 for a different one, but for now, I'm just going to add a few more sounds. In my deep suite, we have all these Jersey bounce perks, which are perfect for these type of beats as well. I only like to take a few parts of them. And then maybe this one too. Effects sound sick in these beats, but you just don't want to overdo it. Okay, let's go back to Pyroverse. I think we could add a couple more perks. You know what, let's add a hi-hat. Sometimes you don't even need them for these beats, but I like to have those high frequencies from it. Even just those. Could have this one land on the snare. You don't have to do this, but I always like to add a drum fill. Yeah, I think that one works, and then maybe one more. Yeah, maybe this. I think we'll save this one for at the end of the 32 though. Okay, I'm gonna join these patterns with Control and G because I don't want the same 8-bar 808 pattern. I want to switch it up. Maybe we could try something else. Let's bring in a Z. We'll get rid of that transient at the beginning. Adjust the envelope, but bring the attack up a bit. So instead of this, we've got this. Maybe we'll use that Z for the first half. And also in the first state, I might get rid of the rim and the snare and just use a snap instead. Just so we've got that variation. And we could even bring a kick in. I think we just need to get a riser in there as well. Just making sure all the drums are hitting right. Everything sounding good. Alright, let's see how we need to arrange this. Alright, so for the intro, I'm thinking start with the 808 and the effects. This part of the melody has the vocals in, so I want that to be the hook. So we'll copy this over, bring this back. We'll leave the kick out at the first half, and we'll leave those second 808s out too. So we could have this twice, maybe this vocal one, and then have this come in. Put the drums here, keep the hats out of this one, bring all these back in. Might even cut them out the first half though. Can bring the CTM in this one, but not that zap one. And also I might just pitch some of these 808s up and up to like these three. Last thing I want to add is just this riser here. And then why not just add a sub bass in the bridge. And bring this one up and up too. And as always, I just like to try one part with the melody up an octave, and I'll either add it halfway through the verse or in the second half of the hook. And when I've got it up an octave, I've got this reverb just to make it sound a bit more spacious. Just see what it sounds like. See what I'm saying? Every time, man. Sounded crazy. Okay, last minute decision, and I always do this, man. That's why it takes me so long to arrange beats. But in the second half of the verse here, I'm just gonna swap that 808 out for this one. Alright, let's hear it from the beginning. So just start with some drums, just to get the energy straight away.
Cactus.
But those pulses in the melody make it sound crazy. But this high octave part too. for the verse. So just loads of space in this section. Then we've got the bridge here. So I hope you guys are feeling this one. Hope you learnt a lot from it. If you want to check out my latest Pyroverse bundle, the link's in the description. Or for more videos just like this one, click up here.